Moonjumper here. Holy moly, talk about timing and too little too late. The CW is being sold by Warner Brothers and CBS. Why? Because the CW was so woke it could do nothing but go broke. Exactly what I was talking about in my latest episode of Who Cares What I Think, where I was discussing the possibility that the CW was in such dire straits trying to appeal strictly to the woke Twitter mob, a demographic that largely doesn't even watch broadcast television, that even employees of the CW were being forced kicking and screaming to have to face reality and at least attempt to appeal to a more mainstream, even somewhat older audience who actually does still watch television. Over the Christmas holidays, the CW premiered several feel-good, family-oriented Christmas specials, including a legitimate reboot of the Waltons, and it actually was the Waltons. It wasn't an angry woke lecture. Season 1 of Superman and Lois was actually entertaining instead of woke, but alas, the showrunners, it seems, could not stomach receiving praise from normal people. They want the love and adoration of Twitter. So for season 2, forget Truth and Justice in the American Way, we have a trailer in which Superman is throwing shade at America, the nation that took him in, because the CW. They cannot help themselves. Well, today I bet they're all wearing quite the surprise Pikachu faces as they wonder who's going to have a job after the sale of the network. That brings me to the CW's atrocious reboot of Walker, Texas Ranger, an IP which should have appealed to an older mainstream demographic, but this is the CW we're talking about. Just watch this clip from my latest episode of Who Cares What I Think, a discussion of, is the CW changing? And I guess we already know the answer. Clearly not fast enough, which is why they are being sold. Well, roll the tape. Walker. Good grief, you cannot get more old school CBS than Walker, Texas Ranger. We're talking Chuck Norris, remember? I don't mean not woke, I mean the antithesis of woke. Are you kidding me? You're going to attract the woke Twitter mob with Walker, Texas Ranger? No, of course not. You're going to attract older fans who love Walker, Texas Ranger. Well, that is until they watch it on the CW and find out that it's been completely destroyed by people who openly hate the original rather than even pretend to honor it. First off, he's not even Walker. What's Walker's signature move for taking down bad guys? Roundhouse kick to the face, right? Cordell Walker, just like Chuck Norris who played him, is a martial arts expert. That is a core component of his character. Walker without martial arts would be akin to Spock without his pointed ears. The CW's Walker? Not a martial artist. At least not in the handful of episodes I managed to stomach before giving up on it. He never used any martial arts, not once. In fact, he didn't really take down any bad guys in the episodes I saw. That was always left to his rookie female partner, who when she's not taking down bad guys, spends all of her interactions with Walker berating her superior officer, the guy who's supposed to be mentoring her as a rookie, chastising him as a washed up screw-up who's embarrassing incompetence, and he is pretty incompetent in the CW version. He's a loser. Cordell Walker I'm talking about, which threatens her status in the racist, sexist Texas Rangers as one of its first and only Hispanic female officers. In Texas, where the Hispanic population is nearly half and it's 2021.
You mean there aren't a lot of Mexican-American Rangers? I'm shocked.
Which is an outright lie. Now look, I know that modern Hollywood writers can't be bothered to open a book. Research is irrelevant to modern writers when it comes to telling their truth. But have you ever heard of Google? Not exactly a right-wing propaganda tool. Hispanics have been part of the Texas Rangers since its inception. Women have been commissioned officers in the Texas Rangers since the 1920s. Now granted, the Texas Rangers only has a small handful of women at any given time, but there is only a slightly larger handful of men. It's a very small, very elite force of major crimes investigators. These are not traffic cops. So not only is the CW's Woker defaming the Texas Rangers and Texas in general, they have completely destroyed Cordell Walker as a character, who is now relegated to tearfully wearing his beta male emotions on his sleeve and apologizing to his rookie recruit for his white male type. toxicity. I'm not making this up, that's just in the pilot episode. Compare that to the original Walker, who had a Hispanic female rookie he was mentoring, long before 2021 by the way, and she could kick all kinds of ass. His partner was black, he could kick ass. Their race, their sex was rarely mentioned. If it was, they might be cracking a joke about it back when humor was allowed, or it might be alluded to if they were confronting a racist villain, where it was actually key to the plot. Otherwise, it was a non-issue, never gratuitous, and they were excoriating the bad guy. Not the Texas Rangers, not the state of Texas, not the people of Texas. The bad guys were the bad guys. And Cordell Walker never had to apologize for just being who he was. He was a hero. They were all heroes who respected and inspired one another, inspired their audience, and they had each other's backs. And stop the tape. That was an excerpt from my latest full episode of Who Cares What I Think, which you can watch in its entirety, linked down below and at the end of this video. From deep in the heart of Texas, I am Moonjumper.
Who cares what I think?